Good morning. Welcome to Google I/O. It's a beautiful day, I think warmer than last year. Hope you're all enjoying it. Thank you for joining us. But before we get started, I had one important business which I wanted to get over with. Towards the end of last year, it came to my attention that we had a major bug in one of our core products. It turns out we got the cheese wrong in our burger emoji. We fixed it. The irony of the whole thing is I'm a vegetarian in the first place. So all is well. We can get back to business. We can talk about all the progress since last year's I/O. All of you would agree, it's been an extraordinary year on many fronts. I'm sure you've all felt it. We're at an important inflection point in computing, and it's exciting to be driving technology forward. It's clear technology can be a positive force. But it's equally clear that we just can't be wide-eyed about the innovations technology creates. There are very real and important questions being raised about the impact of these advances and the role they'll play in our lives. And we feel a deep sense of responsibility to get this right. That's the spirit with which we are approaching our core mission to make information more useful, accessible, and beneficial to society. Last year at Google I/O, we announced Google AI. It's a collection of our teams and efforts to bring the benefits of AI to everyone. And we want this to work globally, so we are opening AI centers around the world. Last year, we announced our work on diabetic retinopathy, which is a leading cause of blindness, and we use deep learning to help doctors diagnose it earlier. And we've been running field trials since then at Aravind and Sankara hospitals in India, and the field trials are going really well. We are bringing expert diagnosis to places where trained doctors are scarce. It turned out, using the same retinal scans, there were things which humans quite didn't know to look for, but our AI systems offered more insights. Your same eye scan turns out holds information with which we can predict the 5-year risk of you having an adverse cardiovascular event. This could be the basis for a new non-invasive way to detect cardiovascular risk. And we are working. We just published the research, and we are going to be working to bring this to field trials with our partners. Another area where AI can help is to actually help doctors predict medical events. Turns out doctors have a lot of difficult decisions to make, and for them, getting advance notice, say 24 to 48 hours before a patient is likely to get very sick, has a tremendous difference in the outcome. And it turns out if you go and analyze over 100,000 data points per patient, more than any single doctor could analyze, we can actually quantitatively predict the chance of readmission. We are publishing our paper on this later today, and we are looking forward to partnering with hospitals and medical institutions. Another area where AI can help is accessibility. Let's take a common use case. You come back home in the night and you turn your TV on. It's not that uncommon to see two or more people passionately talking over each other. Imagine if you are hearing impaired and you're relying on closed captioning to understand what's going on. This is how it looks to you.
On a Danny Ainge level, but he's above a Colangelo level. In other words, he understands enough to...
As you can see, it's gibberish. You can't make sense of what's going on. So we have machine learning technology called Looking to Listen. It not only looks for audio cues, but combines it with visual cues to clearly disambiguate the two voices. Let's see how that can work, maybe in YouTube.
Not on a Danny Ainge level, but he's above a Colangelo level. In other words, he understands enough to...
You said it was all right to lose on purpose. You said it's all right to lose on purpose and advertise that to the fans. It's perfectly okay. You said it's okay. We have nothing else to talk about.
But you can see how we can put technology to work to make an important day-to-day use case profoundly better. In fact, we can even apply machine learning to a 200-year-old technology, Morse code, and make an impact in someone's quality of life. Let's take a look.
Hi, I am Tanya. This is my voice. I use Morse code by inputting dots and dashes with switches mounted near my head. As a very young child, I used a communication word board. I used a headstick to point to the words. It was very attractive, to say the least. Once Morse code was incorporated into my life, it was a feeling of pure liberation and freedom. It is our hope that we can collaborate with the Gboard team to help people who want to tap into the freedom of using Morse code.
With Tanya, we've built support in Gboard for Morse code. So it's an input modality that allows you to type in Morse code and get text out with predictions, suggestions.
I am very excited to continue on this journey. Many people will benefit from this, and that thrills me to no end.
It's a very inspiring story. We are very excited to have Tanya and Ken join us today at Google. I'm really excited that Gboard with Morse code is available in beta later today. Another example of one of our core products, which we are redesigning with AI, is Gmail. We are bringing another feature to Gmail. We call it Smart Compose. So as the name suggests, we use machine learning to start suggesting phrases for you as you type. All you need to do is to hit tab and keep auto-completing. We are rolling out Smart Compose to all our users this month and hope you enjoy using it as well. Another product which we built from the ground up using AI is Google Photos. If you click on one of these photos, what we call the photo viewer experience, where you're looking at one photo at a time. So we are bringing a new feature called Suggested Actions, essentially suggesting smart actions right in context for you to act on. Say, for example, you went to a wedding and you're looking through those pictures. We understand your friend Lisa is in the picture, and we offer to share the 3 photos with Lisa, and with one click, those photos can be sent to her. Or if you took a picture of a document which you want to save for later, we can recognize, convert the document to PDF, and make it much easier for you to use later. We want to make all these simple cases delightful. By the way, AI can also deliver unexpected moments. So for example, if you have this cute picture of your kid, we can make it better. We can drop the background color, pop the color, and make the kid even cuter. Or if you happen to have a very special memory, something in black and white, maybe of your mother and grandmother, we can recreate that moment in color and make that moment even more real and special. All these features are going to be rolling out to Google Photos users in the next couple of months. Since the last year, we've been hard at work, and today I'm excited to announce our next generation TPU 3.0. These chips are so powerful that for the first time, we've had to introduce liquid cooling in our data centers. And this is what allows us to develop better models, larger models, more accurate models, and helps us tackle even bigger problems. And one of the biggest problems we are tackling with AI is the Google Assistant. Our vision for the perfect assistant is that it's naturally conversational, it's there when you need it, so that you can get things done in the real world. And we are working to make it even better. We want the assistant to be something that's natural and comfortable to talk to. And to do that, we need to start with the foundation of the Google Assistant, the voice. But 18 months ago, we announced a breakthrough from our DeepMind team called WaveNet. Unlike the current systems, WaveNet actually models the underlying raw audio to create a more natural voice. It's closer to how humans speak. The pitch, the pace, even all the pauses that convey meaning. We want to get all of that right. So we've worked hard with WaveNet, and we are adding, as of today, 6 new voices to the Google Assistant. Our goal is one day to get the right accents, languages, and dialects right globally. We are doing a lot more with the Google Assistant, and to talk to you a little bit more about it, let me invite Scott onto the stage.
2 years ago, we announced the Google Assistant right here at I/O. Today, the Assistant is available on over 500 million devices. So we've made great progress, but we're just getting started. Today, we're going to share with you some important ways that the Assistant is becoming more naturally conversational and visually assistive in order to help you do more and get time back. For example, let's be honest, it gets a little annoying to say, "Hey Google," every time I want to get my assistant's attention. Now you won't have to say, "Hey Google," every time. Check this out. "Hey Google, did the Warriors win?"
Yes, the Warriors won 118-92 last Sunday against the Pelicans.
Nice. When's their next game?
The Warriors' next game is today at 7:30 p.m., where they will be playing the Pelicans.
Great. It's going to be fun to watch tonight. Hey, remind me to find my Kevin Durant jersey when I get home.
Sure, I'll remind you when you get home.
Even more helpful, my assistant could understand when I was talking to it versus when I was talking to all of you. We call this continued conversation, and it's been a top feature request. You'll be able to turn it on in the coming weeks. We've also been working on improving the conversation with the Google Assistant for families. Now, as we continue to improve the experience for families, a concern that we've heard from many parents, including people on the team who have children, is, are kids learning to be bossy and demanding when they can just say, "Hey Google," to ask for anything they need? It's not a simple area, but one step that we've been working on is something we call Pretty Please. Some of the parents on the team have been testing it out with their families. Take a look.
"Hey Google, talk to Voicetron."
Daddy, you forgot to say please. Okay, Google, please tell me a story.
Thanks for saying please.
Play freeze dance, please.
What a nice way to ask me.
So the assistant understands and responds to positive conversation with polite reinforcement. Now, we've been consulting with families and child development experts, and we plan to offer Pretty Please as an option for families later this year. So, with new voices for your assistant, continued conversation, multiple actions, and Pretty Please, AI is helping us make big strides so everyone can have a more natural conversation with their assistant. And now I'd like to introduce Lillian, who's going to share some exciting things that we're doing, bringing voice and visual assistants together.
Well, thanks, Scott, and good morning, everyone. Over the last couple of years, the Assistant has been focused on the verbal conversation that you can have with Google. Today, we're going to unveil a new visual canvas for the Google Assistant across screens. We gave you an early look at our new smart displays at CES in January. We're working with some of the best consumer electronic brands, and today I'm excited to announce that the first smart displays will go on sale in July. Now, inspired by the smart display experiences, we've also been working to reimagine the Assistant experience on the screen that's with us all the time. Hey Google, order my usual from Starbucks.
Hello, welcome back to Starbucks. That's one tall, non-fat latte with caramel drizzle. Anything else?
So no thanks.
And are you picking that up at the usual place?
So I'm going to tap yes.
Okay, your order's in. See you soon.
So we're excited to share that we've been working with Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, DoorDash, Domino's, and many other partners on a new food pickup and delivery experience for the Google Assistant. We have already started rolling some of these out, with many more partners coming soon. Now, rich and interactive responses to my requests are really helpful, but my ideal assistant should also be able to help in a proactive way. So when I'm in the Assistant now and swipe up, I now get a visual snapshot of my day. I see helpful suggestions based on the time, my location, and even my recent interactions with the Assistant. Now, this new visual experience for the phone is thoughtfully designed with AI at the core. It will launch on Android this summer and iOS later this year. Now, sometimes the Assistant can actually be more helpful by having a lower visual profile. So like when you're in the car, let's say you should stay focused on driving. So let's say I'm heading home from work. I have Google Maps showing me the fastest route during rush hour traffic. Hey Google, send Nick my ETA and play some hip hop. So it's so convenient to share my ETA with my husband with just a simple voice command. I'm excited to share that the Assistant will come to navigation in Google Maps this summer. So across smart displays, phones, and in Maps, This gives you a sense of how we're making the Google Assistant more visually assistive. And with that, I'll turn it back to Sundar. Thank you.
Thanks, Lillian. It's great to see the progress with the assistant. Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you.
So how can I help you?
Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client.
Sure. What time are you looking for around?
At 12 p.m.
We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15.
Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.?
Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for?
Just a woman's haircut for now.
Okay, we have a 10 o'clock.
10 a.m. is fine.
Okay, what's her first name?
The first name is Lisa.
Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Great. Have a great day. Bye.
That was a real call you just heard. The amazing thing is the assistant can actually understand the nuances of conversation. We've been working on this technology for many years. It's called Google Duplex. It brings together all our investments over the years in natural language understanding, deep learning, text-to-speech. We are still developing this technology, and we actually want to work hard to get this right, get the user experience and the expectation right for both businesses and users. There is a more straightforward case where we can roll this out sooner, where, for example, every single day we get a lot of queries into Google where people are wondering on the opening and closing hours of businesses. But it gets tricky during holidays, and businesses get a lot of calls. So we as Google can make just that one phone call and then update the information for millions of users, and it'll save a small business countless number of calls. So we're going to get moments like this right and make the experience better for users. This is going to be rolling out as an experiment in the coming weeks, and so stay tuned. We think we can help users with their digital well-being in 4 ways. We want to help you understand your habits, focus on what matters, switch off when you need to, and above all, find balance with your family. One of my favorite features is Dashboard. In Android, we're actually going to give you full visibility into how you're spending your time. The apps where you're spending your time, the number of times you unlocked your phone on a given day, the number of notifications you got, and we're going to really help you deal with this better. Another area where we feel tremendous responsibility is news. Recently, we launched Google News Initiative, and we committed $300 million over the next 3 years. We want to work with organizations and journalists to help develop innovative products and programs that help the industry. I'm really excited to announce the new Google News, and here's Tristan to tell you more.
Thank you, Sundar. With the new Google News, we set out to help you do 3 things. First, keep up with the news you care about. Second, understand the full story. And finally, enjoy and support the sources you love. So let's start with how making it easier for you to keep up with the news you care about. As soon as I open Google News, right at the top, I get a briefing with the top 5 stories I need to know right now. Google News also pulls in local voices and news about events in my area. It's this kind of information that makes me feel connected to my community. And because we've applied techniques like reinforcement learning throughout the app, the more I use it, the better it gets. What we're seeing here throughout the app is the new Google Material theme. The entire app is built using Material Design, our adaptable, unified design system that's been uniquely tailored by Google. We're also excited to introduce a new visual format we call newscasts. You are not going to see these in any other news app. Newscasts are kind of like a preview of the story, and they make it easier for you to get a feel for what's going on. So let's talk about our second goal for Google News, understanding the full story. Full coverage is an invitation to learn more. It gives a complete picture of a story in terms of how it's being reported from a variety of sources and in a variety of formats. We built full coverage to help make sense of it all in one place. We start out with the set of top headlines that tell me what happened, and then start to organize around the key story aspects using our real-time event understanding. On top of this, our research shows that having a productive conversation or debate requires everyone to have access to the same information, which is why everyone sees the same content in full coverage for a topic. It's an unfiltered view of events from a range of trusted news sources. Which brings us to our final goal, helping you enjoy and support the news sources you love. We've put publishers front and center throughout the app. And here in the newsstand section, it's easy to find and follow the sources I already love and browse and discover new ones. So that's the new Google News. It helps you keep up with the news you care about with your briefing and newscasts, understand the full story using full coverage, and enjoy and support the news sources you love by reading, following, and subscribing. And now for the best news of all. We're rolling out on Android, iOS, and the web in 127 countries starting today. And now I'm excited to introduce Dave to tell you more about what's going on in Android.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here at Google I/O 2018. AI is going to profoundly change industries like healthcare and transport, and is already starting to change ours. And this brings me to the new version of Android we're working on, Android P. Android P is an important first step towards this vision of AI at the core of the operating system. In fact, AI underpins the first of 3 themes in this release, which are intelligence, simplicity, and digital well-being. So starting with intelligence, we believe smartphones should be smarter. They should learn from you, and they should adapt to you. In pretty much every survey of smartphone users, you'll see battery life as the top concern. With Android P, we partnered with DeepMind to work on a new feature we call adaptive battery. It's designed to give you a more consistent battery experience. Adaptive battery uses on-device machine learning to figure out which apps you'll use in the next few hours and which you won't use until later, if at all, today. Another example of how the OS is adapting to the user is auto brightness. With Android P, we're introducing a new on-device machine learning feature we call adaptive brightness. Adaptive brightness learns how you like to set the brightness slider, given the ambient lighting, and then does it for you in a power-efficient way. Last year, we introduced the concept of predicted apps, a feature that places the next apps the OS anticipates you need on the path you'd normally follow to launch that app. With Android P, we're going beyond simply predicting the next app to launch to predicting the next action you want to take. We call this feature App Actions. So let's take a look at how it works. At the top of the launcher, you can see 2 actions. One to call my sister Fiona, and another to start a workout on Strava for my evening run. So what's happening here is that the actions are being predicted based on my usage patterns. Actions are a simple but powerful idea for providing deep links into the app given your context. But even more powerful is bringing part of the app UI to the user right there and then. We call this feature Slices. Slices are a new API for developers to define interactive snippets of their app UI that can be surfaced in different places in the OS. In Android P, we're laying the groundwork by showing Slices first in search. So let's take a look. Let's say I'm out and about, and I need to get a ride to work. If I type Lyft into the Google search app, I now see a slice from the Lyft app installed on my phone. Lyft is using the Slice API's rich array of UI templates to render a slice of their app in the context of search. And then Lyft is able to give me the price for my trip to work, and the slice is interactive, so I can order the ride directly from it. Pretty nice. And we're working with some amazing partners on app actions and slices. And we'll be opening an early access program to developers more broadly next month. So we're excited to see how actions, and in particular slices, will enable a dynamic two-way experience where the app's UI can intelligently show up in context. We want to make these tools accessible and easy to use to those who have little or no expertise in machine learning. So today, I'm really excited to announce ML Kit, a new set of APIs available through Firebase. With ML Kit, you get on-device APIs to text recognition, face detection, image labeling, and a lot more. And ML Kit also supports the ability to tap into Google's cloud-based ML technologies. Architecturally, you can think of MLKit as providing ready-to-use models built on TensorFlow Lite and optimized for mobile. And best of all, MLKit is cross-platform, so it runs on both Android and iOS. You'll hear more about MLKit at the developer keynote later today. Now, as part of Android P, we're introducing a new system navigation that we've been working on for more than a year now. And the new design makes Android's multitasking more approachable and easier to understand. And the first striking thing you'll notice is the single, clean home button. And the design recognizes a trend towards smaller screen bezels and places an emphasis on gestures over multiple buttons at the edge of the screen. So when I swipe up, I'm immediately brought to the overview where I can resume apps I've recently used. I also get 5 predicted apps at the bottom of the screen to save me time. And the swipe up gesture works from anywhere, no matter what app I'm in, so that I can quickly get back to all apps in overview without losing the context I'm in. And if you prefer, you can also use the quick scrub gesture by sliding the home button sideways to scroll through your recent set of apps, like so. All right, so that's a quick tour of some of the ways that we've simplified the user experience in Android P. And there's lots more. Everything from a redesigned work profile to better screenshots to improved notifications management and more. Speaking of notifications management, we want to give you more control over demands on your attention. And this highlights a concept that Sundar alluded to earlier, making it easier to move between your digital life and your real life. To learn more about this important area and our third theme, let me hand over to Samir. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. Our team has heard so many stories from people who are trying to find the right balance with technology. People tell us a lot of the time they spend on their phone is really useful, but some of it they wish they'd spent on other things. So we've been working hard to add key capabilities right into Android to help people find the balance with technology that they're looking for. Android P lets you set time limits on apps and will nudge you when you're close to your limit that it's time to do something else. And for the rest of the day, that app icon is grayed out to remind you of your goal. People have also told us they struggle to be fully present for the dinner that they're at or the meeting that they're attending because the notifications they get on their device can be distracting. So we're making improvements to Do Not Disturb mode, to silence not just the phone calls and texts, but also the visual interruptions that pop up on your screen. To make Do Not Disturb even easier to use, we've created a new gesture that we've affectionately codenamed Shush. If you turn your phone over on the table, it automatically enters Do Not Disturb, so you can focus on being present. Of course, in an emergency, we all want to make sure we're still reachable by the key people in our lives, like your partner or your child's school. Android P will help you set up a list of contacts that can always get through to you with a phone call, even if Do Not Disturb is turned on. Finally, we heard from people that they often check their phone right before going to bed, so we created Wind Down mode. You can tell the Google Assistant what time you aim to go to bed, and when that time arrives, it will switch on Do Not Disturb and fade the screen to grayscale, which is far less stimulating for the brain and can help you set the phone down. Beyond the 3 themes of intelligence, simplicity, and digital well-being that Dave and I talked about, there are literally hundreds of other improvements coming in Android P. But your big question is, that's all great. How do I try some of this stuff? Well, today, we're announcing Android P Beta. And with efforts in Android Oreo to make OS upgrades easier, Android P Beta is available on Google Pixel and 7 more manufacturer flagship devices today. Okay, that's a wrap on what's new in Android, and now I'd like to introduce Jen to talk about Maps. Thank you.
Maps was built to assist everyone, wherever they are in the world. We've mapped over 220 countries and territories and put hundreds of millions of businesses and places on the map. We're now able to automatically add new addresses, businesses, and buildings that we extract from Street View and satellite imagery directly to the map. We can also tell you if the business you're looking for is open, how busy it is, what the wait time is, and even how long people usually spend there. We can tell you before you leave whether parking is going to be easy or difficult, and we can help you find it. And we can now give you different routes based on your mode of transportation, whether you're riding a motorbike or driving a car. And by understanding how different types of vehicles move at different speeds, we can make more accurate traffic predictions for everyone. We're adding a new tab to Maps called For You. It's designed to tell you what you need to know about the neighborhoods you care about, new places that are opening, what's trending now, and personal recommendations. Now, another pain point we often hear from our users is that planning with others can be a real challenge. So we wanted to make it easier to pick a place together. Here's how. Long press on any place to add it to a short list. When you've collected enough places that you like, share the list with your friends to get their input too. You can easily share with just a couple of taps on any platform that you prefer. Then, my friends can add more places if they want to, or just vote with one simple click, so we can quickly choose a group favorite. This is just a glimpse of some of what's coming to Maps on both Android and iOS later this summer. I'd like to invite Aparna to the stage to share how we're doing this, both in Google Maps and beyond.
The cameras in our smartphones, they connect us to the world around us in a very immediate way. They help us save a moment, capture memories, and communicate. But with advances in AI and computer vision that you heard Sundar talk about, we said, what if the cameras can do more? What if the cameras can help us answer questions? Our teams have been working really hard to combine the power of the camera, the computer vision, with Street View and Maps to reimagine walking navigation. So here's how it could look like in Google Maps. Let's take a look. You open the camera. You instantly know where you are. No futzing with the phone. All the information on the map, the street names, the directions, right there in front of you. Notice that you also see the map, so that way you stay oriented. You can start to see nearby places, so you see what's around you. And just for fun, our team's been playing with an idea of adding a helpful guide like that there, so that it can show you the way. So that's why we've been working on what we call VPS, Visual Positioning System, that can estimate precise positioning and orientation. But we think the camera can also help you do more with what you see. That's why we started working on Google Lens. Now today, Lens is a capability in Google products like Photos and the Assistant. But we're very excited that starting next week, Lens will be integrated right inside the camera app on the Pixel, the new LG G7, and a lot more devices. This way, it makes it super easy for you to use Lens on things right in front of you already in the camera. Very excited to see this. Lens can now recognize and understand words. With smart text selection, you can now connect the words you see with the answers and actions you need. So you can do things like copy and paste from the real world directly into your phone. Or let's say you're looking at, or you can turn a page of words into a page of answers. So for example, you're looking at a restaurant menu. You can quickly tap around, figure out every dish, what it looks like, what are all the ingredients, etc. OK, the next feature I want to talk about is called Style Match. And the idea is this. Sometimes your question is not, oh, what's that exact thing? Instead, your question is, what are things like it? You're at your friend's place, you check out this trendy-looking lamp, and you want to know things that match that style. And now Lens can help you. So the last thing I want to tell you about today is how we're making Lens work in real time. You open the camera, and you start to see Lens surface proactively all the information instantly. And it even anchors that information to the things that you see. So smart text selection, style match, real-time results, all coming to Lens in the next few weeks. Please check them out. Please join me in welcoming the CEO of Waymo, John Krafchick. Thank you.
Today, Waymo is the only company in the world with a fleet of fully self-driving cars with no one in the driver's seat on public roads. In 2018, self-driving cars are already transforming the way they live and move. So Phoenix will be the first stop for Waymo's driverless transportation service, which is launching later this year. Soon, everyone will be able to call Waymo using our app, and a fully self-driving car will pull up with no one in the driver's seat to whisk them away to their destination. And that's just the beginning. Because at Waymo, we're not just building a better car. We're building a better driver. And that driver can be used in all kinds of applications. Ride-hailing, logistics, personal cars, connecting people to public transportation. And we see our technology as an enabler for all of these different industries. And we intend to partner with lots of different companies to make this self-driving future a reality for everyone. Now, back in those early days, Google was perhaps the only company in the world investing in both AI and self-driving technology at the same time. So when Google started making major advances in machine learning, with speech recognition, computer vision, image search, and more, Waymo was in a unique position to benefit. For example, back in 2013, we were looking for a breakthrough technology to help us with pedestrian detection. Luckily for us, Google was already deploying a new technique called deep learning, a type of machine learning that allows you to create neural networks with multiple layers to solve more complex problems. So, our self-driving engineers teamed up with researchers from the Google Brain team. And within a matter of months, we reduced the error rate for detecting pedestrians by 100x. That's right, not 100%, but 100 times. Today, AI plays an even greater role in our self-driving system, unlocking our ability to go truly self-driving. Now, to tell you more about how machine learning makes Waymo the safe and skilled driver that you see on the road today, I'd like to introduce you to Dimitri.
Now, at Waymo, AI touches every part of our system, from perception to prediction to decision-making to mapping and so much more. Our vehicles need to understand and classify objects, interpret their movements, reason about intent, and predict what they will do in the future. They need to understand how each object interacts with everything else. And finally, our cars need to use all of that information to act in a safe and predictable manner. Detecting and classifying objects is a key part of driving. And pedestrians in particular pose a unique challenge because they come in all kinds of shapes, postures, and sizes. We can detect and classify these pedestrians because we apply deep nets to a combination of sensor data. Traditionally, in computer vision, neural networks are used just on camera images and video. But our cars have a lot more than just cameras. We also have lasers to measure distance and shapes of objects, and radars to measure their speed. And by applying machine learning to this combination of sensor data, we can accurately detect pedestrians in all forms in real time. A second area where machine learning has been incredibly powerful for Waymo is predicting how people will behave on the road. Our car is about to proceed straight through an intersection. We have a clear green light, and cross-traffic is stopped with a red light. But just as we enter the intersection, all the way in the right corner, we see a vehicle coming fast. Our models understand that this is unusual behavior for a vehicle that should be decelerating. We predict the car will run the red light. So we preemptively slow down, which you can see here with this red fence, and this gives the red light runner room to pass in front of us while it barely avoids hitting another vehicle. Today, our fleet has self-driven more than 6 million miles on public roads, which means we've seen hundreds of millions of real-world interactions. And with this kind of scale, both in training and validation of our models, we can quickly and efficiently teach our cars new skills. And one skill we started to tackle is self-driving in difficult weather, such as snow, as you see here. And we can't wait to make our self-driving cars available to more people, moving us closer to a future where roads are safer, easier, and more accessible for everyone. Now, please join me in welcoming back Jen to close out the morning session.
We constantly aspire to raise the bar for ourselves even higher and to contribute to the world and to society in a responsible way. Now, we know that to truly build for everyone, we need lots of perspectives in the mix. And so that's why we broadened I/O this year to include an even wider range of voices. We've invited additional speakers over the next 3 days to talk to you all about the broader role that technology can play in everything from promoting digital well-being to empowering NGOs to achieve their missions. Along with, of course, the hundreds of technical talks that you've come to expect from us at I/O and that we hope you can enjoy and learn from as well. Welcome to I/O 2018. Please enjoy, and I hope you all find some inspiration in the next few days to keep building good things for everyone. Thank you.